Ever wondered what the world was like right after the biggest disaster in Earth's history? I'm talking about a time when almost all life was wiped out. It sounds bleak, right? But what came next was a story of incredible recovery, a global reboot that gave rise to some of the most legendary creatures ever. This was the Triassic Period. Let's journey back 252 million years ago. The world was a very different place. All the continents we know today were smashed together into one giant supercontinent called Pangaea. Imagine standing in the middle of it. You'd be surrounded by a vast, scorching desert, far from any ocean. The climate was extreme, with blistering hot summers and harsh winters. This was the landscape life had to reconquer after the Great Dying, the Permian extinction event that nearly pressed the reset button on evolution. In the oceans, life started its comeback. Strange-looking ammonites, relatives of modern squids, with their beautifully coiled shells, filled the seas. Alongside them swam the first marine reptiles. Creatures like the ichthyosaurs, which looked surprisingly like dolphins, were evolving, becoming streamlined predators of the new Triassic oceans. It was a slow, cautious recovery, but bit by bit, the seas were teeming with life once more. But the real revolution was happening on land. The world was green, but not with the flowers and grasses we see today. Instead, vast forests of ferns, cycads, and tall conifers covered the landscape. And wandering through these ancient forests were the new kids on the block. The survivors of the Permian extinction, a group of reptiles called archosaurs, began to diversify in incredible ways. From this group, the very first dinosaurs appeared. Now forget the giant T-Rex or the long-necked Brachiosaurus. Triassic dinosaurs were not the titans we often imagine. They were small, fast, and agile. Creatures like Eoraptor were barely the size of a large dog, running on two legs and likely hunting small animals and insects. They were pioneers, the blueprint for what would become a dynasty that would rule the planet for over 150 million years. The Triassic was their starting line. But dinosaurs weren't the only major new group to make their debut. Hiding in the shadows, often active at night to avoid the reptilian rulers of the day, were our own distant ancestors, the first mammals. Evolving from a group of creatures called synapsids, these early mammals were tiny, shrew-like animals. They were warm-blooded and covered in fur, traits that gave them a huge advantage in a world with fluctuating temperatures. While the dinosaurs took center stage, these small creatures were quietly laying the groundwork for the age of mammals, which would come much, much later. So the Triassic wasn't just an in-between time. It was a crucial period of experimentation. It was a world recovering from catastrophe and forging new paths for life. It was the crucible that created two of the most successful groups of animals in Earth's history, the dinosaurs and the mammals. Without the challenges and opportunities of the Triassic, the world as we know it would look completely different. It was the dawn of a new era, setting the stage for the giants of the Jurassic and the epic story of life on our planet. Thanks so much for exploring this incredible chapter of Earth's history with me. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the prehistoric world. See you next time.